Well, one big headline, Donald Trump said that he may not accept the results of the election, but will review them at the time. Team coverage tonight of this final presidential debate for you. Let's get started with our chief political correspondent, Scott Thuman. They're live in Las Vegas. Hi, Scott.
Yeah. I'm not hearing anything.
Hillary wants to give amnesty, but we have some bad hombres here, and we're going to get them out.
It means you would have to have a massive law enforcement presence, where law enforcement officers would be going school to school, home to home, business to business, rounding up people.
I don't know Putin. He said nice things about me. If we got along well, that would be good. If Russia and the United States got along well and went after ISIS, that would be good. He has no respect for her. He has no respect for our president.
Well, that's because he'd rather have a puppet as president of the United States.
No puppet.
And it's pretty clear.
You're the puppet.
It's pretty clear you won't admit that the Russians.
So, Jonathan Allison, those just a couple of moments that we had during this debate tonight on issues that are certainly pressing ones, everything from immigration to what to do about Russia and Vladimir Putin. But here's the thing, for the first time in this very long election cycle, you could say, finally, we were talking some substance, some policy, some agenda, some vision for what each of these candidates would do if they make it into the White House. And for about the first hour of this debate, that's what we heard, some red meat about what actually matters. Now, that's not to say that it didn't, the civility that is, erode at some point. Some of the lowlights, you might call them, were, of course, as you just heard there, Hillary Clinton saying that Vladimir Putin would be happy to have Donald Trump as a puppet. Donald Trump calling Hillary Clinton at one point a nasty woman. So we did see those exchanges, but the bottom line is, for the first time, the viewer, the voter, is kind of the winner in a debate rather than either of the candidates, because we got to hear some of that material that's so important that you may not be going to the websites and looking up yourself. And for the first time, I think you got that while both of them were on stage at the same time.
Okay, Scott, live in Las Vegas, thank you so much for the wrap-up there. So as you know, we are now less than 3 weeks from the election, and one of the people on that stage tonight will be the next president of the United States, for both a last-ditch effort to reach anyone who may be undecided. So did tonight's performance sway any voters? That's the big question. And who really came out on top? Tom Rousey spoke with viewers from both parties who were watching intently tonight. So Tom, what's the reaction been so far?
Well, we talked to some undecided voters who had some interesting things to say. You'll hear from in a second. They were here. We're at Northern Virginia Community College's Loudoun campus. Folks, students have gone home now, but a lot of these seats were filled for the debate tonight. We got reaction there, but we also hit another debate party just a little bit north up the road. This is video from, actually, interestingly, Donald Trump's golf club in Loudoun County near the Potomac River. There was a debate watch party there. Not surprisingly, it was a very pro-Donald Trump crowd there. We were there when they were talking earlier about issues like gun control and abortion. Very feisty crowd that very strongly disagreed with Hillary. Now, it was a more muted and a more undecided crowd here at the campus of Northern Virginia Community College. It was mostly students who came out here tonight for this debate watch party. A lot of them were students studying politics here, but not all of them. It was open to anybody. And several of the students who came out were undecided voters. So we asked them, as soon as the debate was over, did tonight help you make up your mind?
Just like when you ran the State Department.
I'm leaning towards Hillary Clinton now. I just feel like Donald Trump's just such a child. Like, this debate, like, he just kept interrupting the whole time, and it was just kind of immature.
Probably go with Trump. His closing statement kind of caught me because I'm a veteran, and I can't speak for all the veterans, but I'm concerned about my health and my care and my treatment that I'm not receiving from the VA.
And there's been a lot of talk this year about how both Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton have had issues reaching younger voters. And definitely tonight we talked to a number of younger voters here who seem very disillusioned by this election and say there's really not a good choice between the two candidates. Reporting live tonight in Sterling, I'm Tom Rousey, ABC 7 News.
All right, Tom, thank you. Now, tomorrow night, we're going to take an in-depth look at where the race heads from here. The Your Voice, Your Vote Town Hall special airs at 7 o'clock tomorrow night on our sister station, News Channel 8 and WJLA.com.
Wow, what a day we had around the DMV. Daytime highs well into the upper 80s, 87 for a new record at Dulles and BWI Marshall, 1 degree shy at Reagan National. Our temperatures today felt more like the second week of August rather than the third week of October. Now tomorrow, a little bit cooler day, still plenty of sunshine to enjoy. Highs will eventually make it to around 80 degrees. I'm tracking a cold front, a significant cold front. And it's going to have a big impact on your weekend plans. More on that coming up in just a few minutes.
Steve, we'll see you then. Thanks very much. This is just news. We're getting into the ABC 7 newsroom right now. Parents arrested in the murder of their baby boy, Janice and Anton Petty of Greenbelt, facing charges in the death of their 3-month-old son. Anton Flemons, Anton Petty, admitted to the police that he assaulted the child. He and his wife then admitted that they buried the baby boy to hide.